I think we can get started. Dalton, as I said, if you have any other people to allow in, we appreciate it. So I would like to welcome everyone here to our 2026 Camp Betz 250 Family Camp informational webinar. Just a little bit of housekeeping. By default, everyone who's a attendee is muted by default. We will be going over in roughly about 30 to 40 minutes what to expect at our camp this year for any new or returning people. If you have a question during that time, please feel free to put it in the chat so there's a list. It's something we can address on topic. If not, then we'll do it in round at the end and address the questions. And I think we may or may not be able to let people talk. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But right now, we are being recorded. This will be posted via our YouTube account for anyone who's not able to meet this. So if you're part of a larger pack, if someone hasn't attended, but you think they may be important, we'll distribute this via our Facebook page and our distribution list for those participants who've already signed up. So if you take a quick second to introduce myself, my name is Kevin Reynos. I am the current admin director for Family Camp at Betz. This is my 10th program year, 11 years doing this. My first year was 2016 as a director. Before that, I was 4 years participant with my son, who came up through scouting and is now a lovely 21-year-old EMT Eagle Scout. So I think the program is worth it. I do appreciate everyone who's always volunteered when we were here. So my thoughts are giving back is to keep doing this to help the next group of people come through. Sean, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Sean McQuaid. I am the program director here at Camp Betz. This is my 6th year doing this, 7th year if you don't want to count COVID. And kind of the same story as Kevin. I was with the program as a participant with my son, and then as he aged out, I just continued to do it. Kevin asked me to join, and I've been stuck with it ever since. In a positive way, stuck with it, but yes.
And Scott, if you're available, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Scott Board. I'm one of the program guys, as I like to say. I'm at my daughter's troop meeting right now, which is why I'm in the great outdoors at a park. So I apologize if there's any background noise. This will be my 4th year working with Camp Betz after many years of doing this with my son in Cub Scouts and then my daughter in Cub Scouts. And fun to now see them come back and say, hey, we want a staff. It's such a fun experience to have them come make the magic for all the family. So looking forward to talking about what we got coming up this year.
All right, so let's take a look to see if just for the record, we have a vision and mission statement. We have a purpose for the camp. Essentially, I was asked when we first started, why do you think family camp is important compared to resident camps, day camps? And our vision for camp is basically to increase the Cub Scout to Scouts BSA crossover by eliminating any hesitancy between the parents and the Scouts regarding the outdoor and the camping elements of the BSA or the Scouting America program right now. That was one of the feedbacks that National had determined several years ago on crossover retention is oftentimes families and Scouts aren't used to camping and doing the outdoors on a regular basis. Sometimes it's a sticker shock when they come from the Cub Scout program into the Scouting BSA program. So we're just offering a non-advancement fun weekend in order to help break that ice, get people outdoors, see what the program has to offer so that when it comes time for those 5th graders to cross over to a troop, they find it a little less a difference if they've been outside at least once with us during the year. And we're one of several opportunities that the council offers, including a family camp week-long at Renneker up at the Wasatee Scout Reservation. Our day camps, which are open right now and are still taking participants registration, which is a one-day Saturday event throughout several weekends prior to and then after our summer camp here with us. And also to note, there is going to be a Cubbaree this end of the year in September as well. So many opportunities to enjoy the outdoors and see how the scouting program has to offer for you and your family. So we want to provide fun, memorable outdoor experience, positive events, and actually encourage interaction between the Cub Scouts and our older youth as part of the program, either in the Scouts BSA, Venturing, or Sea Scouts program as well. Most of you probably have already registered. Just for the record, we do offer 6 sessions this year. Our sessions 3 and 4 are absolutely full and booked. Session 5 does have some spots available, but they are on a contact basis only. And right now, sessions 1, 2, and 6 still have some spots available. So if there's anyone else that's out in your unit or your pack or other families that you're aware of that are still thinking about it, there is still time available. Our prices do go up at the beginning of June. So this week would be the time to go out there and look to see what's there and register if everyone's still interested. Sean, you want to take a shot at this one?
If I take myself off mute, sure, yeah. All right, so even though the camp is in Michigan, we do run on Chicago time. This has been a long-standing tradition with us because we were all in Central Time Zone before the expansion of all the councils and districts and from the other council guests that we've had at our camp. Each person will need to bring their medical forms, parts A and B. We don't need to do part C. You don't need to see a doctor. You can fill out everything yourself right there. We will have some copies there, but it'll slow down the process. So please fill out the forms ahead of time and it'll help check-in go much faster. Now, Friday night when you check in, we have no meal service. We do provide a movie and some popcorn and snacks, but there will be no meals. So on your way up to camp, be sure to stop and get dinner. There are several options in town or on the way up to camp as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, some groups may coordinate with their packs, and there are sometimes a volunteer within the pack leadership that will coordinate and consolidate all the different annual health records. If there is such a person in your pack, or you are that person, please arrive earlier than most of the other people in your pack. It is a lot more difficult when that person is the middle or last person to show up, and we have 30 or 40 other people already checking in without their forms in hand. It is unfortunately a risk we want to mitigate. So unfortunately, we do not take any emails or electronic records. If you put a health record out on electronic somewhere, if you're in the healthcare industry, you know about HIPAA and electronic privacy and PII and all that good stuff. We do not want to assume that risk of having anything electronically sent. We do still require you to do paper. It is something that we store in its locked, secure environment for the weekend, and you have right to retrieve that at the end. If not, we hold it and then shred it at the end of the season. So, but we still need your paper version. Please either coordinate with your pack or bring it with you to make sure you have it upon arrival. I'm not sure if you want to take a shot back and forth. I'm at least got out of it for now if he's busy at his meeting. So.
Yeah, no. All right, so when you get to camp and when you register, we're going to divide everyone into color groups. This way we have everyone separated into separate program areas for the day, and not everybody's all going to this waterfront at the same time. So you will receive your color group, and the color groups are usually arranged by your pack or group that you may have registered with. If you are a group that is smaller than what the number of people is, you may make some new friends that weekend with new people in your group. If you are a pack that is larger, we may have to divide you, and you'll be in two different groups and different spots throughout the day. On Saturday, you move around as your color group. So please stay in your one of the 6 different activity areas. Please be on time for all those areas too. They usually wait for everyone to be there before they can start the program. So please stick with your group and please be on time. Parents, you are more than welcome to get involved with your scouts. So when it's part of the woodcraft, handicraft area, work with them, helping them put together the project. We even give you an opportunity maybe on the range to try some of the archery and the BB guns. Now, Sunday, remember, a scout is clean. Remember, we want you to please take care of your campsites. Please, itsy bitsy, pick up any garbage. We do have garbage cans in all the sites, so we will pick up the main garbage from each campsite, but we ask that you please take care of that site itself. Now, one of the things we like to do is make sure everybody is safe. And one of the ways we do that is we give everyone a shirt for the program. Everyone in camp will be wearing a shirt. Staff has their own and participants have their own. If we see somebody without a shirt on, you will be stopped and questioned. We want to make sure that you are supposed to be there. This is a safety, so we can make sure there's no unwanted people on our property. We ask that you don't venture off and explore camp. There are some areas where they have had a lot of nature work done, construction, and those areas might be dangerous. So please stay on the paths and stay in the program areas and your campsite areas. Also, with your safety, please wear closed-toed shoes. This is mandatory, especially on the waterfront. No flip-flops. We want to make sure that everyone is safe, that we don't have any injuries too, because we only use the camps on weekends. During the week, sometimes there's other people out there, and some people on our waterfront might be fishing and lose some hooks, and we don't want somebody to get a fish hook through their toes or anything like that. So please always have closed-toed shoes, especially on the waterfront. We'll have another safety briefing on Friday night when everyone gets up there. We do about a half-hour introduction to the camp, as well as all of our safety issues. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of work that's been done at camp. We have a lot of downed trees in the area and brush piles, so please stay off those areas. We are going to have them fenced off to the best of our ability. So please, for your safety, do not go climbing those areas. If you're wondering, what about firewood? Every campsite has plenty of firewood, so you don't have to worry about going into those piles to find firewood.
Speaking of safety, we're going to rehash this many times on our weekend. Everyone needs a buddy. Part of this safety focus is to make sure any given scout is never alone. They're with another scout themselves, or better yet, with one of their parent or guardians at the time. So by staying around the assigned program areas, we already know those areas are okay. Plus, if there ever is an emergency where we need to gather up camp for weather or anything like that, knowing where you guys are at and where you guys would be somewhere on our property in their assigned areas is a lot easier to consolidate and do head counts and everything else like that. We do ever ask if you need to leave camp for any reason, please let us know at our admin building. Now you can, we do have young people that come along with us. We've actually had a 6-week-old at camp before, and mom has had to take a break at the campsite to take care of the baby that weekend. You're allowed to break off from the group as long as people know where you're at and you are within our property on our assigned areas. So don't think that we're trying to cattle herd, but we do want you guys in the areas that we are going to be in just because of that safety factor.
Hey, Kevin, Hillary Spencer asked a question, and she wants to know, do Crocs count as hard-soled shoes for the waterfront activities, or something more solid recommended?
Crocs, even in sport mode, tend to float. Our waterfront is called Lake Chapin. It is the widest part of the St. Joseph River by Berrien Springs. There is a lake current. So things that like flip-flops and Crocs that can slide off aren't the best for the waterfront activities. Now, for the boating activities, those are fine. But just keep in mind that we prefer something that's secure, strap sandals, old tennis shoes, water shoes, something like that. I've always used an old pair of gym shoes just because it's fine for the weekend, and then let them go. So
if you have a Five Below near you, that is a really great place to get water shoes for about $3 or $4 a piece. At least it was last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So every year we have about maybe half to a quarter of our participants be first-time campers. They're buying a tent or they're borrowing it. They're bringing a sleeping bag and they're going to be outside for the first time with us this weekend. So we do want to go over what those people should bring. Seasoned people may have a little bit better idea, but just for everyone, Sean, what should we bring for the weekend?
Well, first of all, for your family, make sure you have a tent for the entire family. We want to make sure everyone has some sort of shelter, especially at night. You want a bug spray. There are a lot of bugs up at the camp, so please make sure you bring plenty of bug spray. If you do by some chance forget it, we will have some of that in our trading post. Same thing for sunscreen. You're going to be outside all day, and some of the areas are open areas, so please make sure you bring sunscreen. A day pack. When you're traveling from program area to program area, you may get a few items that you are working on that you may construct, and you want something to carry them with you. Please bring a day pack so you can put everything in that. Also, everyone is going to receive a mug or a cup. Make sure you have that with you as well, too, so that can attach to your day pack, too. Cash and credit cards for the trading post. This is Scott's favorite question. Yes, we accept cash. We accept credit cards, debit cards, Venmo, Apple Pay, all that fun stuff. So
Apple Pay, yes. I'm not sure about Venmo.
No Venmo.
No Venmo.
No Venmo. I'm sorry, no Venmo, but Apple Pay, yes.
Yeah.
So you are more than welcome. We have lots of product in our trading post. And remember, the more you buy, the less we have to take home with us at the end of the year. And there's going to be some really good sales too on stuff. So,
and now, just for the record, that does support our camp directly. So anything in the trading post that's branded or there for that weekend does go to help offset the overall cost of maintaining the camp all year round.
Every site will have a campfire ring. So, of course, you're probably going to want to have a campfire. Like I said, there is plenty of firewood at each site, but maybe you want to do some s'mores or some fire treats or something like that. So please bring that with you. If you want to bring pudgy pie makers or forks to make marshmallows or anything like that, please bring that stuff for the campsite. Now, per person, what do you need to bring? Well, like we said earlier, everybody needs a medical form. Make sure you have parts A and B filled out completely. You'll need a sleeping bag, something to sleep in, and a sleeping pad, maybe an air mattress, maybe a cot, but something to put on the ground under the sleeping bag. A towel. Why do we need a towel? Well, unless you're a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a towel is always needed. But on the waterfront especially, because you will get wet on the waterfront and you're going to want to dry off afterwards. Clothes for at least 3 days. Why 3 days? We're going to be up there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, yeah, that is 3 days, but sometimes accidents happen. You need to change clothes, so always bring plenty of extra clothes, socks especially. Bring your uniform. Well, why do we need our uniform? We ask everyone wear their uniform for our closing flag ceremonies, especially on Saturday, and also dinner. Dinner is always a full uniform. So Saturday night, full uniform from dinner, closing flags, and then our closing campfire as well. Swimwear, like we said, you're going to be on the waterfront, so make sure you have something to swim in, including swim shoes. Extra socks, I already mentioned that. A reusable water bottle. We will be providing you with cups for drinking. However, if you have a water bottle with you, it seals and won't spill, and you can use that from site to site. Bring a camp chair. There are some logs around the camp that you can sit on, but trust me, sitting on a log for a long time is not comfortable. So please bring camp chairs. Hats. We mentioned it's going to be very sunny out there, so make sure you have a hat. Flashlights. It gets very dark out there too. There's no street lights or anything like that, so make sure you have a flashlight. Rain gear. Well, you know what? We say this all the time. It never rains at Camp Betz. However, it does have a heavy dew, or we have a lot of liquid sunshine. Just in case something like that happens, you may need some rain gear. So always, like we say, a scout is prepared. Last but not least, if you have come to camp previously, you received a hiking stave. That hiking stave, we want you to update that with us every year. So please bring your hiking staves. But you're like, this is my first year. We will give all first-year participants, scouts, a hiking stave for the year that they can keep bringing back with them year after year after year.
And because of a recent purchase, we may also offer a way for families that have come beforehand and maybe forgot their stave to get past years burned on their stave if they were there. More to come on that, I guess.
Now, can I take? I'll take this one. What you should not bring. There's a reason why we have things on warning labels, because someone tried it. You'd be surprised how many times there's something on this list because someone tried it. Please leave all personal firearms, bows, crossbows, arrows, slingshot stuff. We have the proper BB archery slingshot equipment. You don't need to bring your own. Some adult leaders like to show off the big 7 and 8-inch sheath knife. We don't need that for a weekend camp up at ours. If you need to bring a knife, we ask that you bring a pocket knife, which is appropriate for Cub Scouts. Cub Scouts are only allowed to do a pocket knife that's lower than 3 inches, foldable, and putting it away. We ask the adults do the same. Now, adults, yes, sometimes we like to imbibe in a little extra libation. No alcoholic drinks, legal drugs on property. Fireworks, also no bueno. As much as we want to take Fluffy, who is a dear friend of the family here, we do not allow pets on property. That is too much of a liability and issue. And of course, we learned the hard way, no gas generators. Good news is we have powered every single one of our campsites, every one of our buildings. There is something later on a personal packing list. And speaking of which, there's going to be a link to some other things back to the what to bring, what not to bring. There's a QR code in this, and then there's a resource we've emailed, I believe, on the invite to this to help guide you through your packing stuff. But we don't need loud radios or gas generators. Earbuds if you need it to go to sleep or something like that. That's always good, but we don't want to keep everyone else up in your campsite and next door as well. So there are some things we'd like to have too. We have carts available at camp to help. When you park in a parking lot, we'll go over that later. You're not allowed to drive up to your campsite. The whole camp is 7 minutes end to end. So you can walk from the one end of camp property to the other end of camp property in under 10 minutes. We're less than 50 some odd acres total. We're not a very, very large camp. You don't need to be traveling very far, but we do ask that you guys bring your equipment to your campsites, which at the most is about a 5-minute walk, using either our carts, or if you guys want to, be prepared, bring your own folding wagon. Those are always really nice to have. Some things you don't necessarily need, but hey, you may have a battery-powered fan or some charging devices. Once again, we'll have power on campus. Maybe bring a power strips if you guys need to plug in more than one phone. We only have, I think, 3 outlets per site. If you guys want to bring a little extra snacks, you can, but keep in mind, if you put all your gear and your snackies in your tent, you may have critters visit you. So if you are going to bring some small snacks and extra stuff, bring a Tupperware container box or a cooler that you can put underneath the picnic tables to keep any wild critters from partaking in your stuff when you're not in the campsite. We do have full shower facilities, so if you want to bring shampoo, shower stuff to do a shower during the weekend, you're more than welcome to. And we do actually have coffee available every morning, bright and early. If you're a coffee partaker and you don't like to use a plastic mug, you can bring a travel mug for your coffee. We'll have those available.
Kevin, we have another question.
Sure.
Hillary Spencer, again, is asking about the previous slide we talked about with the uniforms. She
Mm-hmm.
wants to know, does she have to update the past uniform with the new neckerchiefs or new hats, or can they still use the previous year's stuff?
Cub Scout motto is do your best. So we're trying to make a fun, positive environment. If you guys have all the proper accoutrement for your new level that you may have received from your pack, I'm not sure how your individual areas work, you're more than welcome to bring the most current stuff. It is not a penalty if you don't have the matching hat because you have the bear hat and you're now a AOL or a Weeblo Scout in 4th grade. We're not the uniform police. We do offer a couple activities during our flag ceremonies that we at least like you have a proper, clean, tucked-in shirt for, but I'm not going to be auditing any rank advancement, so don't worry about that. I think when Sean, you said full uniform, we don't need the belt and the pants and the socks and everything else either. Really, realistically, it's a shirt. If you have your scarf to go along with it, that'll be great. You guys can bring, as they're talking about marshmallows and maybe some other questions about food on Friday night. You as an individual family or a pack can bring some treats for that Friday night. I know some packs coordinate their own meal that night. You don't need to bring a big stove and do a bunch of cooking because it's just more work for you guys. But you guys are more than welcome to do campfire, or I know some places will do deli platters for a group that's a lot easier for your Friday night meal. You're more than welcome to. There may be there usually is, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but there's camp treats on Saturday night. So there will be some more making materials given to you on Saturday for the post campfire individual campsites. That is why we asked you to bring the forks, because we found it was really ironic to give you guys marshmallows but don't have forks in order to cook them on. So we asked you to bring your own forks for that purpose. I think we may have caught up with the questions. We'll do the medical part B's a little later, stuff at the end of the questions. Sean, do you want to talk about our national plant, animals, and birds real quick?
Certainly, certainly. So, Camp Betz is a host to a lot of wildlife. We may see some deer on property, we may see some beaver, some raccoons, but we also have lots of mosquitoes. The official bird of Camp Betz is the mosquito. That's why we say bring the bug spray. This year, you've heard a lot about it on the news about the ticks. There are a lot of ticks out there, so always be prepared for that. Either have a tick key or tick repellent as well. And last but not least, we always ask that you stay on our trails because Camp Betz, you betcha, has a native plant, a wonderful plant, a beautiful plant. That plant, poison ivy. It is not a fun plant. So please stay on the trails. We try and get as much of it out of the way as we can, but sometimes it pops up in spots that we are not aware of. So please stay on the marked trails and stay away from the poison ivy.
So I'm going to go through this really quick because there's actually a follow-up slide. In the participant guide resource available, there is a camp map. We're sharing it on screen right now. Some key places to note is our entrance off of Snow Road. We'll lead you guys into, and we'll have staff helping you to get to our parking lot. Our main parking lot is over here with the little P, or next to our main washroom facility called Peace Pony.
Kevin, go ahead and click.
Yes.
Click, and some circles will appear.
I know.
Oh, magic.
I was going to say, then you'll go to registration. I already went through this once already, Scott. But we're going to ask that you leave your equipment and stuff in the parking lot. Come see us first for check-in, find out your camp assignments, then you guys can start moving equipment. So please bring your registration or your medical forms to the registration in Pine Tree, which is the other purple circle. For the weekend, we have some program areas. We have our shooting sports on the north end. Just on the other side of the parking lot near their entrance, we have an entrance shelter. We have part of our crafting. We have our dining hall. We have our waterfront, and we have our handicraft area down here. Dining hall, but our handicraft. So like I said, from one end of the shooting sports down to waterfront is about a 7 to 10 minute walk. We are not that large. Our gathering areas, generally speaking, will meet every morning in Gilwell Field and before our campfire bowl, which is right outside our registration area. Or in case of emergency or food, we'll go to the Thunderbird Dining Hall, which is towards our south end of camp. We do have washroom and medical facilities. We have a brick cinder block bathroom that has flushable toilets and shower houses at Peace Pony. And we have flushable toilets at our Warhorse facility. And just across the field from Gilwell and our cabin, we have a medical lodge where our health officer will be spending the night. During the day, he tends to wander around, but there is a radio there. So if there's ever any issue with someone being around camp and not at a program area that needs assistance, head to that area, call in, and we'll get you the medical officer. Now, we didn't cover, but these right-hand sides of the trails here, we have our campsites just to the right of the parking lot. That's where all participants will be staying. So you guys will be centrally located to go to either the north or the south program areas. And once again, nothing more than a few-minute walk. Checking in. I love the aerial shot. We have a big parking lot. We're going to have you guys park in this big old parking lot, and you're going to walk over to the Pine Tree Cabin. The Pine Tree Cabin is just down the road from the parking lot, and it looks like this. You're actually going to be looking at it from a slightly different angle, but we're going to ask that you come up to that front door, come on and check in and see us, get your check-in complete, get your T-shirts, cups, wristbands, all the good stuff, exit out, and you know where to go when you're assigned your schedule, color group, and camp location. This is a lot of detail. There is a full schedule to be printed when you guys arrive. You'll be given one for each family. There's actually a little bit more summary of this with some extra pictures in the next slide, so I'm not going to go through every single one of these. But in short, our camp opens at 4 p.m. Central Time. It's as early as you can arrive. If you arrive a little earlier than 4 because you misread it, your hour off or traffic was really, really good, we ask that you guys come at 4 o'clock. The gate will not be open till then, as we're still maybe getting ready and preparing for your arrival. There is Berrien Springs, not more than 5 minutes down the road. And once again, there is food and stuff in that location. If you need to stop at McDonald's or Subway to get dinner, you're more than welcome to.
4 o'clock Central, correct, Kevin?
Yes, Central Time. We will do check-in. Basically, as long as you get there before 10 o'clock, we do check-in, but we do tend to do our flag safety and orientation and offer our movie between 7 o'clock for orientation and a movie starting at 8. If you have any questions, our information is going to be emailed again. It's on the participant guide. It's on the registration page. If there's any questions or concerns about arrival time, you're more than welcome to give us a call. Let us know that you guys are running a little late. You're coming in. If for some reason between work, other things, you guys can't arrive on Friday, we do offer a late check-in on Saturday morning. The morning sessions start at 8:45. You really don't want to miss the program. That's what you're paying for to come. That's the highlight of our day, is to do the waterfront activities, rata activities, crafting, everything else. Please arrive. You can arrive before that time, check in, and go ahead and do that. But our breakfast does start a little earlier than that. But we do offer a late check-in on Saturday morning. Once you're on campus, though, please, 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 if you need to leave for any reason, you need to check out at our admin building and let us know. We need to, by national camp standards and safety protocol, need to know who's on campus at all times. We have our morning sessions, lunch, afternoon sessions. We have an evening campfire program and some campfire time with your s'mores later. And a light Sunday morning with opening flags, breakfast. We offer a Scout Vespers because the Scout is reverent. And we ask that you do pack up, clean up, and we ask that you're out of camp by 10:30 Central Time so that we can finish cleaning up camp and go home. It may not have been said per se. We talked about years of service, but we are all volunteers who run this camp. Myself, Sean, and Scott, we do this because we love it. And all our people from us down to the youth volunteers, we're all volunteer staff. So the quicker you guys clean up and go on the Sunday morning, the quicker we get to go home. We love to see you. We love to see you next year, but we do need to get home ourselves and maybe take a shower and do our laundry after a long weekend. I'm not sure if you want to go any more detail, Sean or Scott, on our Friday night. We do, as I said, these are some lovely pictures of what we do. We gather, do our flags. We have our movie down in our handicraft. Our training post will be open. We have snackies. On the weekend, we do the flag raising. A lot of what we do at this camp is to model what a scout camp would be like for little older scouts when you have the Scout BSA program. So when we do gather together and do our flags, we put on as a staff first. We do our reverent prayer before meals first, and then we encourage our participants to start doing those by the end of the weekend. Once again, any questions? We have the detailed program rotations once you guys get there. We serve in or outside of our dining hall, depending on weather. We do involve, like I said, we once again ask for our participants to help us out by the end of the week with certain things, including flag ceremonies. We offer a quick 15-minute Vesper service to highlight the point of the Scout law that says reverent. But we love to see you down there. It's a nice little way to relax before going and ride home for a few hours on Sunday. And as Scott or Sean, the program guys, want to talk about what we do during our program rotations real quick.
So I could take this first one here. So for our southern portion of our rotation, which is waterfront, which is splash area, boating on the canoes, and then handicraft and gaga ball. So we will, depending on your color, you will start either up north or down south here with waterfront, which is going to be learning a little bit about water safety, and then having a chance to go in the water of Lake Chapin. The kids that are brave and are good swimmers, they can jump off the docks into a kind of enclosed area. We do have lifeguards and washers there to keep an eye on everybody. For the boating section, we have 2 canoes that are connected by 2 big poles. You could try to flip them. We've tried to flip them. We can't flip them. Yeah. Lord knows we've tried. But we then equip the adults with paddles. Everybody gets the proper life vest. We do everything correct and safe, but we give the adults the paddles, and we give the scouts and the kids bilge pumps, because water gets in the canoes from time to time, and we want to make sure that they're able to get the water out of the canoe. Now, if they happen to get that water out of their canoe into somebody else's canoe, that's none of my business. So you can see there's a little bit of splashing that happens out on the boats. But we do have guards out there on kayaks, making sure everybody's being safe, and we are keeping an eye on boating traffic. It is a active waterway, so there will be some boats. We'll keep you guys in a safe kind of cove area. And then finally, we also have handicraft. Handicraft is where we're going to do our wood project. I'll let Kevin spoil it if he wants, but when the wood project's done, the kids can also then go play Gaga Ball at the Gaga Ball pit that's right next to Handicraft, which is, if you remember the map, Handicraft is right by Thunderbird. Now, I will warn you, it's a bit of a hill to go down to the waterfront. And what's going to happen is you're going to go down to the waterfront. You're going to get little Johnny, little Susie in their swimsuit, and then they're going to be like, I need to use the bathroom. And now they got to walk all the way back up that hill, and then walk up another little hill to get to Warhorse. So we recommend a bathroom break before you go down to waterfront or to boating, just to save you that extra trip.
Go before you go.
Go before you go. Absolutely. So that is one of the fun little ways we do that. So you might do that in the morning, you might do that in the afternoon. It all just depends on your color group. Sean, you want to do the northern side?
Sure thing. So on the northern end, we are going to have 3 different program areas as well. Now, one thing I do want to make sure that you all know, if you are in the northern end, you're going to be doing the whole northern program in the morning. If you're in the southern end, you'll be doing the whole southern program at the same time. We're not going to have you go from waterfront to archery and then back to handicraft. We're going to make sure that you stay all the way up north until lunch and then switch, and then you'll be in the south, and vice versa for the other groups. So in the northern end, we have 3 program areas there as well. Our range and target activities, which include archery and slingshots. We have BB guns, and we have leather work with the staves. Archery and slingshots. We have archery, where we will teach you how to use our bows. They are compound bows, so they're quite easy to use. We have instructors that will help you. They are very good. They've been trained. We have BB guns. Anyone can use the BB guns except some of the smallest scouts. So as an alternative, we offer slingshots for them to use that as well. I believe it's the Tiger Cubs and younger that are unable to do the BB guns.
No. So
and then
Tiger and above. Sorry. First grade and above can use BB guns by BSA policies, Guide to Safe Scouting. Kindergartners below are not eligible to use BB guns. We have the slingshots as kind of a free station. So as you're either not able to or waiting to do your different rotations, you can always stop by and see the slingshot alley, basically.
And then our last area is going to be our leatherwork and staves. We're going to be, everyone's going to get a little piece of leather. They're going to be stamping it. And then they're going to be able to attach it to their stave. This is where we ask if you already have a stave from previous years, be sure to bring that. A lot of our scouts bring them, and they have multiple medallions of the leather on their staves. We also have a wood burning station where we are going to have a branding iron of this year's logo for camp, and they can brand that onto their stave or their leather if they'd like as well too. Don't worry, we have adult supervision for that.
Now, we do end our program on Friday after dinner with lowering of our flags and a wonderful campfire program. I do think is one of the highlights of the weekend that we go by. We have our staff do a few scats and songs to kind of give the example of what's going on. We end with a nice, respectful flag ceremony that Mr. Sean puts on. But in the meantime, we need our color groups to perform. So we ask, and once again, not required because we do our best in Cub Scouts, but maybe looking up and coming with some skit ideas. Now, keep in mind that songs or skits have to be Scout appropriate. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that when I was a kid, I was able to sing this song may not necessarily be appropriate in this day and age. So keep in mind, no potty humor, no taunting, making fun of, no physical acts of violence, specifically no throwing water, and wearing the appropriate gendered clothing apparently is also a thing that they require as part of the program. So just keep that in mind.
Also,
you might want to look up some before you get there.
Wait, time out. Also inappropriate, the invisible bench. We're not having that. So you look at the scouts in that. That was our staff one year did the visible bench because that was the only way they could do the invisible bench sketch was to make it
after 10 visible. Years and 5 or 6 camps every summer. I think we've tapped out the invisible bench. So we love to have ideas. We do coordinate and review our program before we do that, but keep in mind, if you guys can look at do a Google search or Pinterest before you guys get here, it's also kind of cool to have ideas. Now, we do have a race theme this year. There's always bonus points for someone who can do a campfire skit or song that is obviously themed to our activity for the year. So, once again, we talked about this earlier. Dalton, who's on, has been very quiet, is our camping professional. He is the director of camping for the Pathway to Adventure Council. But we do have our ptac.betz.familycamp@gmail listed here. Once again, it's on the resource participant guide. It's on the registration page when you signed up. Contact us with any questions that we may not answer here. And I do believe there is this QR code for the participant guide. I believe when we emailed all the participants about this activity today, we also included a link to that participation guide, which is this QR code. It's about 6 pages. It covers the packing list, what not to bring. It covers our outline schedule, gives us the camp address, so you know how to get there, and the general idea of what we covered today, just in paper form in case you may have forgot. So, but once again, always feel free to reach out to us.
And one more thing, Kevin, like
Sure.
we will, the camp will send all participants, if we have your email address, we will send you a email about a week beforehand saying, here's what you need to know with all the relevant links. If you are a pack leader or a den leader, please make sure that the rest of your den or pack sees that. A lot of times we will have one person register and we might not have everybody else's email. Please do us a huge favor and share that message with your pack.
If you did register as a pack, we did ask for each adult to have an email placed as well, so they should be getting it, but it never hurts to reiterate, especially if it's going to be bring your own medical form. That's a really big thing we want to make sure people are aware of ahead of time. And the lovely animation, I'm actually going to go back and do it again because I love the animation. Oh, no, screwed it up. Stop sharing. Anyway.
You broke it, Kevin. You broke it. Jeez.
Basically, he said there's a lot of questions, and we know maybe a lot. It's not that bad. No, seriously, it isn't. So a lot of times newcomers tend to overthink things. They want to bring the kitchen sink. Bring what you need. Take what you need to your campsite. But if you think you need to bring something you're not sure, leave it in the car. We want to make sure you have a fun weekend. And if it's too busy messing with all the equipment and stuff, you're going to be busy most of the day. There is some scheduled downtime where you can relax back at your campsite between the meals and then other activities. But generally speaking, you're going to be out and about during the camp during the day. You're going to have meals down in Thunderbird. You're going to have the campfire bowl at our big one with the group. But you're only going to have really a little bit of downtime towards the evening. So having those camp chairs and those camp forks and maybe some snackies for Friday and our s'more treats will be helpful on that night. I do want to address any questions that we had in the chat that we did not do. Just
so while you read,
what?
While you read, one thing we do want to call out is if you have a food allergy, hopefully that was filled out on your form so that we know in advance. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We do everything in our power to make sure that everybody has a safe meal. Again, the biggest thing that we do as directors is not just make sure you have fun. We make sure that you are safe and we make sure that you are also fed. Darlene in the kitchen is amazing. And she makes amazing food, the best camp food I've ever had. So I would, if you do have an allergy or you do have a question, please reach out and let us know. But again, if you have a food issue, hopefully that was on your form already, and we've seen it.
So yes, you're welcome to bring snackies for Friday night. Bring forks for campfire food. So the current Scouting America health form, which is Part A, B1, and B2, does not have a doctor's signature required on those. It's only Part C, the physical, which is required for camping more than 72 hours, i.e. week-long training, NYLT, summer camps for the older scouts. So in no way, shape, now if you have that done already because you've done it, I'm not going to tell you no, but you don't need to go get a physical in order to come to our camp for the weekend. But everyone, including adults, need to have one filled in. I need to have one filled in. Sean needs to have one filled in. Anyone who's on property needs to have a medical form filled in, even if you're not a youth. Sometimes people get that confused because my question is, if you have an issue, I need to know, and my medical officer needs to know anything important about how to make sure we best handle anything that you may have if it comes up. And we don't know that unless you fill that form in. So Part A, B1, and B2. Now there is a ask that you have a copy of your insurance card, front and back side, along with that. Just again, once again, if we do have to have any emergency services or someone come, we want to make sure we provide them with all the information for you as an adult in case you're not able to at that time. We want to have that on record. So A, B1, B2, and your copy of your insurance card if you have one. I'm not sure, but the group at large, do you guys have anything that's a good tick repellent that doesn't involve DEET? I do know that my famous thing growing up was always, what's Avon? It's Skin So Soft was always a good alternate version to a bug repellent, but I'm not sure if that's tick-based or not. They're just mosquitoes. There are several other repellents that are more of a natural friendly side. Unfortunately, I don't have one listed. I'm not sure if anyone here, Sean or Scott, you know of a DEET-free tick repellent. But the main thing about ticks is keep your hats on, stay on the trails, don't go wandering in the forest, and do regular checks. Have someone look at the back and the neck, have someone look at your hair real quick, make sure it's done before you go to sleep at night. Have someone look over the scouts and the kids that may have been running around just to make sure. We want to be, it is an overabundance of caution. I don't remember hearing too much about ticks more recently, but it is, this year is supposedly bad everywhere. So we much rather be safe than sorry. If there's ever a question or you do find one, come see our medical officer. He has the equipment to handle it as well. So is fishing allowed? Now, this is one question we have every year. We're working on it, but once again, we have to have a safe area to cast and to do the fishing. And with our schedule right now, with having the waterfront be for swimming, splashy time, and boating, we do not have the physical space to be able to allow you guys to fish. The waterfront is closed down when it's not used for program as safety. We have late locked gates. So the only time you're allowed at waterfront is when we have staff down there and our lifeguards there to make sure you guys are safe. So unfortunately, fishing is not something that we currently offer at camp. We are looking at long-term plans to make a fishing area, but we have not been able to bring that to fruition yet. Small grills, propane ones, I've seen people do the little Coleman stoves. I would not recommend charcoal grills because generally the small ones tend to be something easily knocked over and or sat upon. My brother famously, when he was a 2-year-old toddler, sat on a grill that was only 8 inches off the ground, like a hibachi one that we had out when we were camping as a family way long ago in the olden days when we had, it was the 80s, fast and loose with safety back then. But that was not a fun experience having to go to the hospital for grill marks on the back of the leg. So I would probably avoid charcoal grills, maybe do a small propane one, but do not bring the 6-burner, propane stove from home in the back of your truck. We don't really need to get that creative. There's a lot of other low impact solutions, like I said, deli platters, other things. If you guys wanted to do food on a Friday night, someone did put the Avon link. I like that, by the way. And I just wanted to make sure there was one other question. Like I said, yeah, the part A, part B was the only other thing. So if there's any other questions, please put them in our chat. If not, ETAC period, Betz period, familycamp@gmail is our contact email. Please reach out with any questions. Once again, like Scott said, we're going to be going ahead and sending out a week ahead of time notice with all the links to the forms. This opportunity to respond just to double check on any of our dietary restrictions. If you register as a family, that was easy enough to put in. If you register as a group and you're not sure if they included your dietary restrictions, please send us an email for what week you're coming, what pack number, what family you are, and what your restrictions are. Generally speaking, we are able to accommodate a lot of things. We generally have gluten-free options available, etc. We do different meal styles based on religious things too. We do accommodate for those. but we also offer a lot of different food products at every meal. So it's not like here is one thing and sorry, you can't eat it. Most of our courses have multiple courses. There is a fruit, a salad, a vegetable, a meat, and several different things to offer. Cereal for breakfast, along with eggs or bacon or omelets or whatever we're having that morning at the time. There's usually a plethora of fruit. There's plethora of choices too. So I've never gone hungry on the weekend. So we do, unless there's anything else that we might want to address. Sean, I think we want to be respectful of time. We're just about an hour. We went a little longer. I always aim for 45. We always go over.
The last thing I want to add is that we also have a Family Camp Facebook page. If you search Family Camp at Camp Betz, we put a lot of information on there. If you take photos, you are more than welcome to post them on there as well. But we also do some updates. We will talk about the status of the camp, things that are going on up there. And also I have a little fun and I throw in some local restaurants that are in the area if you're looking for somewhere to eat on a Friday night. And gas prices. I know gas prices are kind of crazy right now, so I always post local gas prices. I will say this for people that are worried about gas prices: do not buy your gas in Michigan. Do not buy your gas in Illinois. Go to Indiana. Gas is about an average $1 to $1.20 cheaper per gallon in Indiana. So please, that is the most helpful thing I can give you about gas right now. And check out our Facebook page. If we get a ton more followers this year, I don't know, something might happen to me at a campfire one night. You never know.
Just if we do have people who've never been to Betz before, we're approximately an hour and a half from Northwest Indiana, like say Hammond or Munster. We're about an hour and a half away. When you start going into the southern Chicago suburbs, like Orland Park, that area, you're about an hour 45 to 2 hours, depending on when you leave with traffic. Unfortunately, there isn't a shuttle across the lake to get us easily across. So anyone from the upper areas, like Arlington Heights, or even out west and LaGrange areas from those former councils that merged into PTAC, you are probably looking at a Friday trip that's about 3 hours, depending on when you leave. We offer a late check-in on Friday night for that reason. It may be a few hours. Please use the traffic review to see what the best route is. Going through the city is usually not a great idea, but then again, with all the construction on 294, going around isn't. Just please be aware that you're not going to miss anything horrible on Friday if you're a little bit late, so do not fret. We don't want to stress out families and parents and children. Arrive when you can. Let us know if there's any issues. Obviously, the Saturday morning check-in is an option if there is, like, say, extenuating circumstances where someone gets off of work late and they're worried about travel times. But do plan for it, because Fridays are always long, and traveling through that Borman corridor into Indiana is a little rough. If you're willing to pay the price, there is a tollway and there is a skyway, but I think it's a roughly $15 or more to take the Skyway tollway I think 15 just to get from the Skyway into Indiana, let alone the tollway to get to South Bend. So there are other options, but it may cost you a penny. Just be aware of that before you get on. The ways may lead you to a way that's going to cost you a little bit of tolls. So
another alternative too, if you decide to leave early Friday and you know you can't get into camp until 4 o'clock, right down the street from camp in Bridgman, Michigan, is the beach. There is a beach for Lake Michigan. Spend the day at the beach, and then after you're done there, come on over to camp. It'll save you a lot of time too, and you get to have a fun day as well.
I want to go to the beach on Friday before we open. Well, once again, this will be recorded. They'll be edited here probably at the end for some of the questions, and waiting to begin with, they'll be made online. Pay attention to your emails for more information to come closer to camp time. We appreciate everyone who's made it out tonight. Hopefully this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you guys in a few weeks this summer.
4 weeks.